That means that I'm the mayor of all the citizens, all the people who live here, regardless of where your address is. Your address in South Philadelphia, like Kenyatta Johnson, or in West Philadelphia, like Curtis Jones, or your address is State Road, or your address is Rentry, and you're Philadelphia citizens, I am your mayor. And I think that that is an honor to be everyone's mayor. Because reentry, first of all, let's start at the beginning. The beginning is how you get locked up in the first place. When you live in a neighborhood, in a zip code that doesn't have good schools, it doesn't have employment,
That's right.
it is inundated with massive amounts of drugs, where massive amounts of people are
They
incarcerated
know all of that too.
when they should have been helped and treated as opposed to locked up.
Right.
When there is recreation centers and libraries falling down around,
Amen.
and there is no pre-K, and in order for your parent to get you to the dentist or the doctor or the eye doctor, they're going to take off a day of work and maybe you're fired. And then the slow slide downward goes.
Yeah.
When you're prior to 2016, or actually halfway through 2015, when I was still in city council along with those two fine elected officials there, we did something that seemed like really simple, but it was really important. We decriminalized the possession of marijuana.
Amen.
4,200 people a year were being arrested for possessing less than an ounce of marijuana. Now, my argument at the time was that if you want to lock up a lot of people at one time, go to the Eagles game on Sunday morning in that parking lot, and you can arrest a lot of people from New Jersey and the suburbs, but I don't think you want them locked up. And why that was important was not only was it important from an economic standpoint, 4,200 people a year means 4,200 transportations to the police station, 4,200 fingerprints, 4,200 photographs, 4,200 issuances of criminal arrest records. And the criminal arrest record is like putting a piano on your back and trying to run the Broad Street run. You ain't going to win. You ain't going to finish. To take that stigma away from a young person who made a mistake just like I did when I was a kid.
Amen.
I mean, you know, if you say you didn't, you're lying for the most part. I don't mean that people who didn't do it. But it's hard to believe that at some point in time in your life you didn't pick something like that up once at a party, at college, somewhere. No, it's de minimis. And in a state that sells, taxes, and promotes the use of alcohol, to lock people up for the possession of a little bit of weed is pretty hypocritical.
That's right.
Pretty hypocritical.
Call it what it is.
Unless we fix the things that we need to fix in education and in healthcare and in social healthcare and psychological healthcare and trauma, our children see more white sheets covering dead bodies in the neighborhood than some soldiers see in war. And to expect them not to be desensitized, to expect them to be normal, to expect them to be able to develop in the right way is ridiculous to think. So if we get into our neighborhoods over a generational period and start changing the way our neighborhoods look and act and feel, we will give folks in that neighborhood some hope that something could be better. Yeah. Let's fast forward to the folks who are away, the folks who are coming back. There are citizens, and as Tracy said, you know, there are grandchildren and nephews and sons and daughters, and it's not somebody else's people from another planet. There are people. And $120, $30 a day, and I'm talking about the city-county prison system right now, to keep people incarcerated on state road, 60+% of them can't make bail. They haven't seen a judge. They don't have a job to pay the bail. They don't have an uncle or a grandparent or someone to pay the bail. So they sit for 60, 90 days plus at $130 a day. That's insane. I'd rather pay his bail. Because if a judge thinks he's worth the setting of bail and he can't make it, so he should be out. He shouldn't be in there. He should be out getting drug treatment, job training, and an opportunity to do something. I was at an Aldea, had a job fair last week and a half ago, and I attended that and spoke. And 5 guys that were kind of like almost like a basketball team, they came up together and they all had been away. And they all had their resumes. And they all had that hope in their eyes that I could do something for them. That I can help them change their own lives. I ain't changing anybody's lives. I'm not Jesus. I'm not going to convert anybody. Just giving people the opportunity to change their own lives. I took those 5 resumes, and whenever someone comes up to me and says, you know, I've been away, I just got back, I've been back a little bit, yeah, here's a resume, could you help? I take that and I put it on my desk. And I look at them every day and I make a couple calls. Within 2 days, 2.5 days, those 5 guys were placed somewhere. They're working. I can't, that's not the way to fix it. I can't do that. I'll do it. You give me a resume and tell me you were away and you have a sincere desire to go to work, I'm going to work my rear end off to make sure you get a job. But I can't do that every day and expect to put a dent in this problem. So we need a system and systems to do it. Some of the things that, and as we talked about earlier, yeah, I have compassion in my heart for Rentry, but I got to learn. Because I have not been away. I got to learn. And I expect the people in this room to teach this government what we need to do to get this right. It's really important. The thing that I've learned in my life, first of all, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And every one of us was put on earth by God. And I believe in God, but I believe in there's one God. We all just pray differently to that one God. Doesn't matter how you pray, doesn't matter where you come from. You believe in God and you want to do good, God is in your heart and you can do good. And the thing that I've learned is that when I finally have a chance to touch somebody's life in a positive way and make a change and see them blossom, I'm happier than they are. That's true happiness. It's not being a celebrity, it's not having a lot of money, it's not having a lot of stuff. It's having a lot of people that you help in your life.
That's right.
That is how you get into heaven. That's where you're going if that's what you're doing. I want to tell you a story, and I'm going to get off on that because I know you've got other speakers, and I got 2 other places to go. But I want to tell you a heartbreaking story, and to council members, I've told you the story in front of you probably 10 times, so I'm sorry if you've heard it before. I was in Mantua at a quality pre-K. And when I go to these pre-Ks, I like to sit on the little chairs because I get down to the kid. You know, sometimes a child, as you're towering over them, it's hard to relate. So I like to get down on the chair. And I think they always look around to see if it's going to explode on me, but it doesn't. And these 2 little boys come up to me, and one put his elbow on my knee, and the other one put his hands on my knee, and they're checking everything out, and they're little beautiful sponges of what they want, just everything they can get in their heads. And they're loving, and they don't see race. They see love and openness and decency, and they just want to be little precious packages. And the one kid was looking at me and looked at me, and he reached up and he grabbed my nose. And he said, "Man, you got a big nose." I said, very, very perceptive. You're learning a lot here in kindergarten and pre-K. And 2 days later, I went to State Road, to the Philadelphia Industrial Correction Center, where we have a high school. And honestly, I'm embarrassed to say that in the 23 or 4 years of my being in city council, I never knew we had a high school there. These are young men who are charged with serious crimes. They can't get bail. They're locked up until waiting trial, and they need to go to high school because they're high school age. So I go into one room, and they didn't see me come in, and there's 4 young men reading Shakespeare and role-playing Macbeth. And I'm listening. I'm just listening while I'm watching and listening. And I go into another room, and there's these 3 young men very much at attention because they knew I was coming, and they explained to me what the mathematical formula of a parabola is. Now, when they got done telling me what the story was, I didn't know what it was either, but they knew. I knew they knew what it was. And before I left the facility that day, a young man grabbed my arm and said, "Can I tell you something?" And he was very excited. "Can I tell you something?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "This is the best school I've ever attended." That's crushing. It is crushing to think that we let that young man down so many times that he wound up having to go to jail to get a good school. We have to provide that educational opportunity. We have to do it. We just have to do it. If we don't do it, we're going to fail. We live in a city with 26% poverty. In some neighborhoods, there's 50+% unemployment. What I've been working on and what we're continuing to work on, and we'll continue to work with you, is I always tell a young person, "You have a driver's license?" They say, "No." "Well, what do we have to do to get your driver's license back? How do we get you straight?" If you get a commercial driver's license, you can work, you can eat, you can drive a truck, a bus, you can do lots of things. SEPTA has agreed to take 25 people at the start who are not going to be SEPTA employees, who are just regular citizens with legitimate driver's licenses, to train them to be CDL drivers. So we have a revolving door of CDL drivers leaving SEPTA so we can go and take that credential and get a job. We are working to expand the Port of Philadelphia. Because when I was a young man in South Philadelphia, there were about 3,000 longshoremen, half were African American, half were white. Nobody had college, and very few of them had high school diplomas, and many of them had come back from incarceration, as they would say, down the waterfront up the way. They came back, and their uncle had a gang boss, a good gang, a working gang on the waterfront, and they went to work, and they could make $25, $30, $40 an hour. And you don't need a college education to do that. So there are so many people that won't get college. Look, I think everybody should have an opportunity to go to college. Everybody should have an opportunity if they get out of jail or they left school and they want to come back to get a degree. Absolutely. But if you're not going to do that at some point in your life, you need to make more than McDonald's wages. You need to make more than that minimum wage. So we're working on those. The next one we've been working on is the building trades. Now I know, it's been a real rough road. Very rough road.
Yes, sir.
Embellish me, thank you. A very rough road.
Yes, sir.
We've been working with Ryan Boyer and some of the folks of the laborers and some of the other mechanical trades. The problem has been getting kids able to pass the exam. A lot of times we start out with this pre-apprentice program, we put them on a job, we give them a shovel, we give them a hammer, and we don't really teach them how to take the test. This is an effort to teach the test so that they can pass the test, become full-fledged apprentices, and then full-fledged journeywomen and men, and have a career. That's on the physical labor side. I'm talking with Coded by Kids, which is an organization that teaches IT code writing to children in our rec centers. And this is how kids can learn, build those video games, build websites, all this IT stuff. There's no reason in the world we should be teaching code writing in prison. Like, if you're going to be there and you have to spend some time, come out of there and be able to write code. You work. They're looking for code writers all over the place. So checking out every opportunity we can to plug our folks in before they get in, so they don't go, while they're in, so when they come out, they have somewhere to go with a job credential, and making sure that our young people have an opportunity. It's a daunting task, as you know. We have massive numbers of people incarcerated in this country. We just received the MacArthur grant for $3.4 million. Council members Jones and Johnson helped with us. Our goal is to reduce our prison population in Philadelphia County by 34% over the next 3 or 4 years. Because they can, and I'm not building a new prison. No. Because when we reduce the prison population, I won't have to build a new prison. Because if you build a new prison, you will fill it up. That's right. You will fill it up. So I have no interest in doing that at all. We're
Got him on tape saying it now. Can't take it back.
Before I end up, I just want to thank you for inviting me and welcoming me into this family. I consider you, I always said I'd never be a brother, but I just strive to be a brother-in-law. Let us be part of each other's, our experience. Teach me, guide me, make sure that we go do the right thing. Councilman Jones and Johnson have been at this for a long time. I will rely on them as mentors in this. And we want to make a dent in this and make our neighborhoods a hopeful place again where a kid can go to work instead of putting a pistol in his belt and getting into trouble. Because the only place that young man's going is jail or the cemetery. We want to stop them both. God bless you all. Thank you.
We're going to be a round of applause once again. Mayor Kenny really cares about all the citizens of Philadelphia.